Breaking news, and I mean the kind that makes group chats explode faster than Yandy's PR team hitting decline call. Folks, buckle up, because what just hit the internet might be the reality TV betrayal of the decade. Mendeecees Harris, yes. Mr. Family Man from Love and Hip Hop has reportedly filed for divorce after a DNA test dropped a truth bomb so big it could shut down Mona Scott's whole franchise. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, isn't that the same Yandy who said she held him down while he was locked up? Oh yes, the same Yandy who made Ride or Die sound like a brand slogan. But apparently, somebody's been riding, somebody's been lying. And that forever promise might have just expired faster than a VH1 contract renewal. Sources, allegedly. Maybe, possibly say Mendeecees didn't just find out the truth, he bought the truth. Delivered in a crisp white envelope labeled DNA results, not the father. And when that envelope opened, the internet cracked in half. So what really happened behind those picture-perfect family posts? Was this all a long-term cover-up or just a love story gone toxic? Stay tuned, because this rabbit hole goes deeper than anybody expected. It all started on a quiet Tuesday morning when Mendeecees Harris opened an envelope that would turn his entire world upside down. The paper inside didn't make a sound, but its silence screamed louder than anything he had ever heard. Printed across the top were the words DNA test results, and beneath them, the line that would split his reality in two. No biological relation detected. For a man who had built his image on loyalty, family, and forgiveness, those words were a knife straight to the heart. Mendeecees sat there for minutes that felt like hours, staring at the truth that refused to change no matter how many times he read it. The room felt smaller, the air heavier, the memory sharper. Everything he had believed in, every fight he had defended Yandy in, every family post they had shared suddenly felt like part of a script he never wrote. This wasn't just a DNA result. This was betrayal polished with the shine of a perfect Instagram life. People had called them the power couple of love and hip-hop. They had been through everything together, prison time, scandals, rumors, and every time they came out smiling for the cameras. But behind those smiles, cracks had already started to show. Friends close to the couple whispered about growing tension. Yandy's business trips became longer, her answers shorter, and her phone always seemed to ring at the wrong time. Mendeecees had brushed it off for months, telling himself not to listen to gossip. But deep down, he knew something wasn't right. According to one source close to this situation, the DNA test wasn't random. It was triggered by a late-night argument that spiraled out of control. Mendeecees had confronted Yandy about messages he saw on her phone, and instead of denying them, she said the one phrase that broke him completely: "You wouldn't understand. It's complicated." That's when he decided to stop asking questions and start looking for answers. He sent the test quietly, not telling anyone, not even his mother. When the results came back, he drove straight to his mom's house and handed her the paper without saying a word. She read it once, looked at her son, and shook her head slowly. The same woman who once called Yandy her daughter-in-law with pride now deleted her number, blocked her, and told her son to go home and pack his things. Within hours, the rumors hit social media like wildfire. Twitter turned into a crime scene. Old clips were resurfacing, fans were playing detective, and hashtags, like the signs were always there, flooded timelines. Suddenly, every old interview, every smiling photo looked like evidence. Mendeecees didn't say a word. He unfollowed Yandy, wiped their pictures clean, and went silent. No statements, no posts, no explanations. Just silence, cold and final. And while he stayed quiet, insiders whispered that his next move wouldn't be a post or a press conference, but a set of divorce papers that were already being drafted behind closed doors. The moment the silence hit the internet, the storm began. Screenshots, audio clips, and blurry photos flooded every gossip page within hours, each one claiming to reveal the truth about what really happened between Mendeecees and Yandy. One blog even posted what they called exclusive court documents, though no one could say where they came from or if they were real. Still, that didn't matter. In the world of social media, truth is whatever gets the most clicks. Anonymous insiders began coming forward with stories that sounded too wild to believe, but too juicy to ignore. One claimed Yandy had been living a double life for almost a year, juggling her public image as a loyal wife with a private romance that she thought would never be exposed. Another alleged that she had used her husband's connections to fund a secret business deal that went sideways. The more people talked, the darker the story grew. Mendeecees, meanwhile, was nowhere to be found. Some said he was staying at a private condo in Atlanta. Others claimed he had flown to Miami to clear his head. What everyone agreed on was that he had shut Yandy out completely. Not a call, not a message, not a word. He was done. But as always, the internet couldn't resist digging deeper. One YouTube commentator posted what they said was a leaked voicemail of Yandy crying and saying, "It wasn't supposed to happen like this." Whether it was real or not, it spread like wildfire, adding gasoline to an already burning scandal. Fans who had once praised Yandy for her strength were now calling her manipulative, while others accused Mendeecees of setting her up for public humiliation. The story had no clear villain or victim, only to people who had once been each other's everything, now turning into headlines and memes. Every time Yandy posted something, even something simple like a motivational quote, the comments exploded with snake emojis and tell the truth replies. She tried to ignore it at first, but it was impossible. The backlash grew too loud to silence. One night she went live, hoping to control the narrative. Her eyes were puffy, her voice shaking as she said, "There are things you don't know. There are things I can't say yet." But that only made it worse. Within minutes, clips of her live stream were chopped, edited, and re-uploaded with captions like, "Yandy admits guilt and she's lying again." The internet had already chosen its version of the story. And while Yandy fought to prove her innocence, Mendeecees stayed silent, watching everything from a distance. People close to him say he wasn't angry anymore, just numb. Betrayal does that. It burns everything in you until all that's left is cold. But this wasn't over yet, because behind that silence was a plan. One that would soon turn this personal tragedy into the most explosive public scandal Love and Hip Hop had ever seen. By the end of the week, the entire situation had spiraled beyond repair. And what started as a family issue had transformed into a full-scale media circus. Every talk show host, every gossip blog, every so-called insider wanted a piece of the story. Reports surfaced claiming Mendeecees had officially met with his lawyers to file for divorce, and that he was considering taking full custody of the kids once the case went public. Some even said he was preparing a tell-all interview that would expose everything Yandy had done behind closed doors. The stakes were high, the emotions higher, and the world was watching. Paparazzi were camped outside both of their houses waiting for one of them to step out, so they could grab the first photo of a broken marriage. Meanwhile, producers from Love and Hip Hop were already re-editing footage to fit the new narrative, because in the reality, TV world tragedy is just another storyline waiting to be monetized. Sources close to the production leaked that Yandy had been suspended from filming, pending a formal investigation into her alleged off-screen misconduct. In plain English, it meant they were deciding whether she was still good for ratings or not. On social media, fans picked sides, and the war between Team Yandy and Team Mendeecees got uglier by the hour. People who once admired their love story now dissected every episode like detectives solving a crime. Then came the shocker no one saw coming. A new report dropped claiming that a third-party male had come forward insisting he was the biological father of the child in question. He was described as a businessman from New Jersey who had known Yandy long before her marriage. Screenshots of messages allegedly between them began to surface, and while some looked fake, the damage was already done. Mendeecees reportedly broke his silence privately that night, telling a close friend he felt both betrayed and relieved. He said, "At least now I know. I can move on." But moving on wasn't simple. The court filings leaked next, confirming that he had indeed initiated divorce proceedings, citing irreconcilable differences and breach of trust. The headlines went nuclear. Brands pulled out of deals, sponsorships evaporated, and Yandy's social media pages turned into battle zones. Still, she refused to disappear. She released a statement on her page saying she would tell her truth soon and that no one knew the full story yet. But the public had already made up its mind. For them, she wasn't the loyal wife who stood by her man. She was the woman who played him. For Mendeecees, the decision to walk away wasn't about anger anymore. It was about peace. He had spent years fighting for freedom. Now he was fighting for self-respect. As he signed the final papers, surrounded by silence, one thing became clear to everyone watching. The fairy tale was over, and this time there was no camera crew to fix the ending. And there you have it. The scandal that turned one of reality TV's favorite love stories into a headline no one saw coming. But the question now is, what happens next? Can Mendeecees and Yandy ever rebuild what's been shattered? Or is this truly the end of their empire? Was this betrayal years in the making? Or just the final straw in a relationship built on secrets? We want to know what you think. Do you believe Yandy deserves another chance? Or is Mendeecees right to walk away for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments, tell us whose side you're on, and don't hold back. If you love the drama, the mystery, and the truth they try to hide, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe and turn on the notifications. Because here at BuzzVault, we dig deep, spill the tea, and never miss a scandal. A scandal.